Rwanda's renowned Inyambo cows symbolize the nation's rich cultural heritage. Historically associated with royalty, they are now pampered with poetry and music at a museum in Nyanza. Take a look.
A flute here, a line of poetry there. This is the daily routine for Rwanda's royal cows that have become living symbols of the nation's cultural heritage. With their long and crescent-shaped horns, the Inyambo cows graze at the King's Palace Museum in Nyanza and at the homes of some of Rwanda's richest people, including President Paul Kagame. The breed is descended from the distinctive Ankoli cattle of East Africa and is also found in neighboring Uganda and Burundi. The Inyambo have long been associated with nobility as they were raised in royal courts where they symbolized wealth, prestige, and power. Bijira Jr., a curator at the King's Palace Museum, says they are sacred symbols.
They're not for milk, they're not for meat. They will just be used as decors around the palaces. They would parade them around, they would use them in ceremonies, basically around the king's court. The kings would basically present them to the other kings that had visited the palaces for people to admire and see and say, yeah, they're looking good, basically.
Even though the monarchy no longer exists in Rwanda, so revered are the cows that the traditional gifting and exchange among kingdoms has been embraced by Kagame. The president's practice of giving cattle to heads of state has even been called in local newspaper reports, Inyambo diplomacy. As Rwanda seeks more tourists, it is investing heavily in places like the King's Palace Museum, where the Inyambo cows are the main attraction. The cows are pampered with melodious poetry describing their beauty and calling them by their names. This is believed to calm the cows ahead of major events where they are presented to visitors or during traditional ceremonies.
So traditionally when women are dancing in a way, you'll notice that they tend to raise their arms a little bit wide. So those would basically, they're more or less mimicking the different shapes of the royal cows. So their dance is more or less in a way to portray the beauty of the royal cows. Not their beauty per se, but the beauty of the royal cows basically. That is why they do a lot of that movement of the hands in a way.
The cows were reintroduced around the King's Palace Museum in the early 2010s as part of a conservation initiative. It is not known how many of them remain. To younger generations being introduced to the breed at the museum, the cows are part of Rwanda's heritage and identity.